Hello, healthy gang. How are you guys today? Just coming to chat with you guys, do a little vlog, let you know how my day was yesterday. Yesterday was my husband's birthday, and so we celebrate that. One moment. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm back. But I'm feeling like like a queen this morning. But anyhow. But yeah, we celebrated his birthday last night and we had a good time. I fixed him some more. He wanted some gumbo and I fixed him some gumbo. And yeah, now he after I fixed his gumbo, I had some tea already ready for him that had been marinated and whatnot. And that and remind you guys of what the tea I'm talking about. Okay, I did him the holy basil. That's for the inflammation. And I did the suma root right there. And I told you we had a great time. I feel like I went to the moon and back. Hey, don't sleep on them two teas, okay? And I mean, I was just like, yeah, that's all I can tell y'all guys. You have to use your own imagination, man. It was like awesome, you know. And but yeah, you have to know the dosage of I wouldn't know your doses because I don't know everybody's weight and whatnot. But like I said, I want you guys to pay attention to what it does for your body and what you notice. Also, if you're taking any medication, take your medicine and then wait 4 hours, which you still will have to wait the 4 hours because you know you prepare it and then you let it soak for 4 to 10 hours. So when you take your medicine in the morning, by the time you relax or whatever, you take your tea and you're good. But I tell you, I feel like I went to the moon and back. We had such a great time. And I mean, that's not, you know, I'm just reflecting on because yesterday was his birthday and we had a great time. Like, you know, I was in the yard with him. He was cutting grass and I showed you guys the elderberry, and that's the elderberry you would use for my other video. I just want to relate the two so you'll know what elderberries look like, and if you need me to get show you a gooder shot of the elderberries than what I did, I'll do that because I want to make sure you get the right one, because I think there's another berry, because like I have two other ones that haven't produced it, but they produce something like the elderberry, but from what I'm understanding, that's not the elderberry tree. So I haven't learned what that berry is yet. But yeah, I just want you guys to know what the elderberry is, because you could probably be doing just like I did for years. You know, we played with those things. We would like make mud pies with those berries. Sometimes we just stepped on them or something, and sometimes we did eat them. From what I'm reading, it was recommended that you not eat them fresh, but we did as children, you know, playing in my neighborhood. And I'm from Baton Rouge. I was raised in Plaquemine, Louisiana, over the bayou and down the bayou. So, you know, and I'm a Parker. So, you know, we played, you know, with those things and just didn't know exactly what they were and what you can use them for. And like I said, they have many benefits to the elderberry. But back to this tea, okay? But y'all, please make sure y'all get your elderberry, because this season, being that they're cutting down so many trees and they keep giving I am gonna get back to the tea, but they're cutting down so many trees that they keep saying the breathing, the air is not, you know, good for breathing and all that other great stuff. So you need to make sure you get your stock up on your elderberry stuff, and as well as make your cough syrups. That way you know what you're giving your children. You know that it don't have no sugars in it, just the honey, the cough syrups, and that what you put in it. You know what you put in it, and go ahead and stock up on it. put your date on and let you know when you put it in there. My elderberry is still in there. I hadn't taken any. My son came down with a little something the other day, but I didn't give it to him. But I'm gonna make me a fresh batch, and if you guys want me to do a video on that, my berries, I haven't put them in the sheet to let them dry because it's so hot outside. You could just leave them outside and let them dry, and then let them kind of like dry for a couple of hours, and then go put them in the sun. So that, I mean, in the oven for like, you leave it in the oven for like 20 or 30 minutes. So if you have a good couple of baking sheets, you put them in the on the baking sheet and put them like on something that you know, because I have 2 dogs, that they won't get into it or anything, and you just let the sun is gonna help dry them out, and then the remaining you go put it in the oven for like 20 to 30 minutes. And yeah, you got yourself some elderberries, because elderberries have went up. When I first noticed elderberries, they were like $11 for 11, if I'm not mistaken, $11 to $15 for a 1 pound bag. Then after everybody started noticing my videos, and probably other people's videos, I don't know, the thing went up to $50-something. So I'm like, oh no, Shay, I'm glad I learned about this. You hear what I say? Now there's another tea that I want to come with you, but it's hard to get everybody to tell me what it's called. Mungie tea, and it's supposed to be the bomb tea too for the winter. I seen a lot of, if this is what they're talking about, it's supposed to be a wild plant that grows in the yard. It has red stems, and I seen a lot of them going to when we was going fishing, and when I was in Alabama, I seen a lot, and I was like, man, if I just pull up one, will somebody be able to tell me if this is the thing that I need? Because they are abundance in Alabama, but over here, being that everybody use it for the flu season. Back to this tea, honey. You want you to have yourself a good time, but see, this is in my husband's system. He drinks tea every night, if not every night, every other night. And you have to build, you know, just like with anything, when you take it, you have to build it up. So I recommend that you guys get your holy basil for the inflammation. You can use this as well, but like when you having it's good for infections, to help you with, like, if you have a yeast infection. You know, I had made my own monosap things. I want to find me a tray with the round one. So what I want to do is get me 2 of them and then flip it on top so they can be round instead of just like, you know, flat and stuff. I want to make sure, or if I can find the little round ones to make the little pearl ones that you just stick up like. So yeah, that's just me. I have a lot of ideas and whatnot, but yeah, you want to you can use some of this in your in the monosep, well, I don't call it monosep, but the yeast suppositories that I made. You can even use some of the tea in that mix, and you know, just follow the directions. But I'm about to come up with some more stuff to make it more like creamy. So I was just trying to see which one of the butters that I had to use for it. So I just got so many things that I want to bring to you guys, but like I said, I was working at McDonald's, and then I ventured off into about to drive the school bus. But that thing, I passed the test to get the S endorsement. I already have my B, but you got to learn so many different the racket pen, the arm piston, and all kind of stuff. And I'm like, look, I am not young as I used to be, with all this here. Remember, you got to get inside the hood of the bus to touch the hoses and the where you put the water at, the oil, and you got to get under the bus, the front part of the bus, then you got to go at the back part of the bus. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it's informative, but then after you finish all that, and you're like, man, and then my nerves, I just don't know because children today are totally different from the way I was raised and when my children came up. These children here, they are so smart, and they're going to speak what's on their mind. And these children, today's 2000 something children, they've been here before. These children look like they've been here like in the 50s and the 60s, because man, some of these videos I be seeing of some of these children, y'all better stop that. I mean, it's good sometimes, but you have to raise that child when that child is a teenager, and that what you're doing is going to catch up with you. Yes, it's cool. You know, I like it because I laugh at it, but at the same time, being that I done raised my kids and other children as well, honey, when they get to that teenage, you just think back about how you was with your mama and your daddy. Ooh, but I want to do that, and they got this other job that I'm waiting on to call me. I'm hoping, because they said that I passed everything. That's the job that I really want, but who knows? I may or may not get it. And like I told y'all, we own our own business, but since we moved here in Louisiana, we really haven't been getting any clients. We've been getting clients for like small itty bitty jobs. We haven't even been getting jobs like in the thousands like we did when we was in Alabama. We haven't. Only things we've been getting like for like driveways, and that's maybe like not a part of repairing a driveway, mailboxes, and that's not much. So, and that's another thing. I try to encourage my kids into starting something, a business on their own, not always want to work for somebody, especially in this day and age, and with this how the economy is going and how people are coming out the closet, acting like they don't like you. So but yeah, and I have always encouraged my kids, from when we started our business way back in 2000. I just encouraged them, you know, because having children and being able to take off, still having your benefits, still be able to come back to that job. Like if they got sick, you need to, you know what I'm saying, you need to be able to come home or whatever. But when you have your own job, you can. But when you're working for somebody else, it's only so many times you're gonna do that before they be like, well, you know, since you got to stay home so much with these children, you might as well go ahead and stay home with your children, because hey, and I encourage anybody that is pregnant now to do home birth. I'm just all over the place, so like I said, we just chit-chatting. Do home birth. With my oldest daughter, they made me have a epidural. I didn't want an epidural, and that thing scared me so bad. They told me I remember this so well. She told me at first, because I was on the phone with my friend Peaches. I said, Peaches, we was watching the Dolphins. Me and her was watching the same channel, and I was like, girl, I said, my stomach is starting to hurt. She said, girl, that's when I used to curse. We was calling each other the B word and whatnot. Now it's like, yeah, whatever. But I was like, girl, you think it's that time? She said, girl, I don't know. So I got up and I went to use the bathroom, and that's when I saw the pink mucus, the mucus plug that you're supposed to see, that's supposed to come out. And my pain was starting, and I was waiting for my husband to come home. He had then been out with his friends. They were riding motorbikes and whatnot back and forth from Slidell to New Orleans. So I'm just sitting there saying, man, I wish she come on. Back then, you know, we didn't too much, cell phones wasn't popping like that, but if there wasn't, big stupid ones, you know. And so I was just waiting for him to come home. He knew it was about that time because I had the Nebraskan hits throughout that week. So I was like, Peaches, man, they kind of getting to the point where, you know, I'm starting to think this is it, because they keep coming. She said, well, I'm gonna stay on the phone with you until you get home. So I guess it was like about 5 o'clock, and the pain had started about 10 or 9 something that night, because I hadn't took my bath and everything. It was just laying down. We was watching Discovery Channel, watching the dolphins swim in the water and whatnot. And just still watching that, and then as some pains just kept coming, I was like, Peaches, man, they're getting stronger. She said, ooh, I think you this is it, girl. You need to be getting up, calling. I said, Peaches, I said, I'm waiting for my husband to come. Well, we wasn't married then. And after that, I think it was, I waited. I said, man, I don't want to go. And they sent me back home, because I did go when I was having the false labor. And they sent me back home. I said, I don't want to go and I'm not completely dilated. I said, I don't feel like having nobody sticking their hand up in me and telling me, oh, you dilated so much centimeters. You know, we're going to give you a little fluids, then we're going to send you home. So I didn't feel like being bothered with that. So I just waited. Stuck it out. I said, oh, I gotta use the bathroom. She said, girl, you better not go get on that toilet. I was like, why not? She scared me, because she hadn't had 2 boys, and that was gonna be my first child. And she's like, girl, you better not go get on the toilet. You from around push that baby out in the toilet. I said, I'm not gonna push my baby out in the toilet. She said, yes you are, girl. She said, don't go get on that toilet. She said, you better sit yourself right there until your husband get home. And well, which she was my fiance then. And so I just waited and waited and waited. With that pain just hit me, so I could take no more. So when I got there, they called me, and mind you, I lived upstairs, and the ambulance and whatnot, bed belts on the bed wasn't like they are today. Oh my God, when they was taking me down the stairs, I thought that belt was going to come completely off and I was going to slide down the stairs. I was holding on to the bedroll and having contraction. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. So anyhow, so we get, and mind you, now I could have walked to the hospital, because where I lived at in Slidell was on Gauls Boulevard. In Gauls Boulevard Apartments, that's what they was when I stayed there. I could just walk right across the street to the hospital, because the hospital was just like diagonal across the street from me, right at the light. Okay, so I was like, I could have just walked to the hospital, you know, but I was like, man, I never been a person to, like, I always used to be scared to cross the highway. I always have been. My husband used to have to hold my hand to cross the highway, because I was scared to cross the highway. And so they took me, like I said, right across the street, right across the street to the hospital. And when I get in there, they prep me and everything, and they put the big old light on me. And I said, man, I always dreamed of being in the spotlight, but I was like, man, not like this with the spotlight, and everybody was cracked up laughing. And I was like, man, I said, golly. I said, then you got your little nurse assistants, everybody coming in here looking into people's stuff. I'm like, I said, I know, you know, I'm a movie star and everything, but I said, golly. So, but they was just cracking up at me, and we was just having so much fun. But when them pains, who was like, ooh. And I was like, I don't want no epidural. And it was like, the doctor said you have to have. I said, I don't. I said, I don't like needles. Period. I'm a punk when it comes down to needles. I'm good. You can have your needle. Baby. I don't like a needle. Okay? Never did. And anywho, so When it got down, I was like, I think I was like 6 centimeters when I got there. So they made me wait until I was like almost 8 centimeters. So it was like the doctor said that you have to have it. I said I don't want it. It's like, well, the doctor, you 8 centimeters and it's almost time for you to push. We call the anesthesia doctor in here. You got to have it because the doctor said if anything go wrong, we want to already have it in place. And I was like, man. So the anesthesia doctor came in there, was talking to him and whatnot. He had the face mask on. I'm like, I don't want no anesthesia. You know, I don't like needles. He said, oh, it's gonna be all right. So I'm sitting there. He's like, bend forward, and so I'm bending forward and whatnot. And I felt that needle stick me. I said, oh, they jumped on my back. Said, don't move. I was like, oh my God. I mean, they had me in this position. I was scared, and I'm bent over like that. And I'm like, oh my God, y'all scaring me in here. And I'm like, I'm screaming because the needle in my back, and then the pain's coming. I'm like, oh my God, this is a bad experience. Where's my husband? I was like, where he at? So just when they got done with the anesthesia, he come walking up in the hospital room. He said, I knew something was going on. He said, that's why I had come home. I was like, yeah, this time in the morning you come home. So after that, we in there, we're just clowning and janking. He said, that's what happened when you keep your legs open. He said, He said, I bet you ain't gonna open your legs no more. I said, you the reason why I'm in here. So after that, you know, it didn't take long after I got the anesthesia, because I had them waited so long to finally go to the hospital. Because I got there, I think I got there about 5 something. She was born at 6:30 something. So I waited long as I could. And then with my other children, I opt out. I didn't have to have it. I told them I don't want it. I had all of my other, because I lost one. I lost my oldest son. I would have had a 23-year-old. And I saw him. I lost him. I was 5 months, going on 6 months. And yeah, I lost him. And then my daughter, my second daughter, I didn't have any medicine with her. I almost bit my doggone lip off. I mean, when I say my lip, ooh, that mug was dangling that I had to cut the circulation of blood from it. I had to bit my lip just that much. And then with my other son, my second son, I didn't have any medicine with him. I waited, because my husband, he always want to play and jank. He like, he always say the same thing. I bet you ain't gonna open your legs no more. Yeah, I said, just get close to me. Just get close to me. He's like, I'm not getting close to you. I said, yeah, you don't want to get close to me now. And then with my third son, he's a twin. His twin died, which was a girl. I didn't have any medicine with him. I was in labor with him for like 2 weeks. My feet looked like Vienna sauce. I literally, my hands literally looked like the Nutty Professor's hand. And my toes looked like Vienna sausage. My toes were stretched straight out, swollen. I was in labor for like 2 weeks. He was due on my husband's birthday. And he was like, my husband that day, he said, for my last son, he said, I'm finna go to the fishing so you can get some rest. You know, I was in labor for 2 weeks now. So he looked at me, he said, nah. He said, I think it's that time. He said, because man, you looking like you didn't had enough, you ready. So he said, come on, you finna go fishing with us. So we went fishing across the bay in Alabama, and on the causeway thing across the bay, and just before you get to Daphne. So He throw the line out, and I'm like, this fishing pole is like the poles that you use to catch jaws. So, cause my father-in-law, Mr. Ezel, gave it to him, and honey, he threw that big old reel way out there. I hooked this. I mean, when I say this stupid red, I hooked this red. You hear what I say? And I'm fighting. I'm tugging the red. I'm like, oh, and I'm going into labor. Them labor pains, like that red helped my labor pain. Soon as I think that I got the red in, it shoot right back out. I'm like, oh my God. I'm trying to hold on to the pole and endure these pains. I'm like, so I didn't know what I wasn't paying attention. I'm sitting there saying, I'm gonna get this red in, and I'm in labor, okay? So I'm sitting there tussling with the pole, the reel, and handling them labor pains. I'm bagged out all the way into the street to the people looking at me, and they blowing the horn. But when I raised up, they see my stomach. Everybody was just laughing at me and whatnot, and they let me catch the fish. My husband's like, "Come on, get out the street." So they let my husband was walking me back out the street, and I'm telling you, this red was every bit of me. I'm 5 even, and that red pie was maybe about 4, 5 or something. But this is a stupid red. You hear what I say? My husband, he was so proud of that and whatnot. He told everybody. So he was like, yes, he said, I'm gonna finish getting it in, and you go ahead and get in the truck and whatnot. So I got in the truck. He said, y'all, well, we had a van at the time. He told everybody, the children, he said, y'all go ahead and get in the van with your mama. And so he got the red flipping around in the cooler. Bala can close the cooler. And so we get to the hospital, and they checked me. No, we didn't go straight to the hospital. We went home because he went put the red up and stuff, and then he went next door because my father-in-law was living next door. He told him to come get the children, but he couldn't. So my mother-in-law came. I took a bath. And no, while my husband was going, this is so cute. While I'm going, my husband going to go talk to my father-in-law across the street. I'm sitting, he done ran in some bath water. I'm in the tub, and I'm in labor so heavy, I'm like zoned out. But when it stopped, I look up, my 3 children in the tub with me, making the same moaning sounds I'm making as I'm in labor. I said, baby, come and get them out this tub. I said, I can't take them. They sitting in here making the same noise I'm making. I'm like, please come and get them out. So they get out, and my mother-in-law said, well, it sounds like she at that point. We don't, want to leave her, let her have the baby at home, because there's nobody there with y'all. So she said, y'all go ahead and bring the kids, get her together and stuff, and I'm gonna meet y'all at the hospital. So we get everything. She meets us at the hospital. So as they wheeling me into the back, she said, oh, I'm finna see my grandbaby, and she kissed me on my head and my hands, told me everything was gonna be all right. And so I get to the back, and it was like, we're going to check and see how many centimeters you are. And so they was like, man, you ready to go. All we need to do is put you in here, get your information, your history and everything. So there go my husband again with that joke. Oh, you ain't going to open them legs no huh? So then I'm like, man, just come closer. Every time we saying the same old thing with all our kids. So I forgot what game was on. He was watching the game, but he was getting closer to the bed, and I tried to grab me some but them pains was getting real. And I told my nurse, I said it's time. She said, oh, I know we gotta wait for the doctor. She said, don't push. Whatever you do, don't push. I said, I can't. I got to push. She said, we're waiting for the doctor, and while we're waiting for the doctor, we're gonna get your vitals, and we're gonna get your background information on your health. So I'm like, man, I'd have been in labor 2 weeks already. I didn't call it a red. And these pains is just like up to here, and you talking about don't push. Honey, I told that lady, I said, it's time. She kept telling me, I told her that 2 times. You hear what I said? 2 times. I said, I am ready. She said, I know you're ready. She said, but don't push. The 3rd time, I said, get over here. I'm ready to push. She looked at me. She said, okay, Miss Shit. Okay, Miss Shit. When she said that, when I was in the midst of saying, get over here, my son said, ploop. He plopped out. She pushed the button, said, I told you not to push. I told you not to push. Then the doctor, he was all mad. He told me something. You could have broke his neck and all this other stuff. I was like, I told her I was ready. And then the nurse, he was so rude. Told me some, didn't the other nurse tell you that to push? She was pushing on my leg and everything. I was just happy. I picked my baby up because he wasn't crying. He'd been in me 2 weeks. He hadn't had his bowel movement. His first bowel movement inside of me. That's just how my doctor wasn't all that. And he hadn't had his first bowel movement. I had to have some antibiotics. He had to have antibiotics because he hadn't already had his bowel movement. His bowel movement was all over him. All in his mouth and stuff. So I'm cleaning that up. And then they take him and then try to clean me up. I mean, it was just so rude. And that's why I really like, what's the young lady named? Jayla, whatever. She just had her baby on YouTube. I really liked her birth experience. And I commend anybody to have your baby at home because not every doctor and nurse will be concerned for your health. Or you because of some cold or whatever, instead of, just letting the body do what it do. My baby wasn't crying. He was sitting there eating on his poo. So, but yeah, they gave him some antibiotics, me some antibiotics, but we were good. But back to this tea, honey. This tea is gonna make your love life good. You hear what I say? Your husband having problems. Okay? It's gonna be good. Y'all. Oh, it took me a long time before I can find the right things for my husband. And you all just need to be patient with one another. Be loving and kind to one another and sit down and talk. We've been together going on 25 years. It hasn't been easy, but with a willing mind, anything is possible with God and your mind. If you're not willing and you're not willing to let God help mend and mold you guys, then your marriage won't work. But until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and you be blessed.